It seems housing regulations are cooling more than just the market. Unexpectedly low GDP numbers are out for January, and experts are warning this could continue as housing activity slows. But as we spring into the busiest real estate season of the year, what does this mean for buyers and sellers? Let's bring in our panel of agents for the insight on the markets. Steve Zaretsky is with Sutton West Coast Realtor. He's in Vancouver. And Shawn Zigelstein is with Royal LePage in Toronto. Thanks very much for being with us, guys. Shawn, I want to start with you. How big of a factor have the regulations that we've been seeing in particularly Toronto, Vancouver, but how have they been affecting your clients?
Well, I think all three basically factors are hitting the market in the Toronto market, that's for sure. When we look at the fair market housing plan that came into effect, that's definitely had an effect. The stress test has definitely had an effect, and interest rates have definitely had an effect. So we're looking at it from threefold. We don't have an exact answer to say, okay, which one is having the most of an effect on the marketplace right now, but I do expect that we will start to see some changes coming into the spring market that's going to be a positive influence onto the marketplace, what we're seeing right now.
All right, Steve, in your experience, have you seen the market adapting?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're definitely going through some significant changes. Looking at the two markets, they're still very divergent. Look at the Vancouver detached market. For Q1 2018, I think we were just recorded here in Vancouver the fewest amount of sales in 20 years. And then in condos, I mean, we're seeing slower sales in the condo market. I would say our prices are the price growth is starting to slow down, but we're still having multiple offers. Really, there's just not enough inventory out there.
Gotcha. All right. Shawn, as we start to see these markets cool, how do buyers and sellers alike need to adjust here?
Well, I think sellers need to adjust their expectations. That's one of the main things. If they're looking at 2017 numbers and expecting those numbers today, it's just not going to happen for them. They know that already. It's just a matter of which sellers are going to be the ones that are going to admit that the first. As for our buyers have choice. Our buyers have the ability to go out, look at different product that's out there, and make an educated decision and an educated choice on the product that they want and negotiate a great deal a lot of times on a lot of product.
Steve, same question for you. What's your advice for buyers and sellers, and how do they adjust?
I think it's a similar thing to Shawn. I mean, I think that a lot of people are sort of, again, in that detached market, are starting to get a bit of a reality check in terms of, hey, listen, like if you want to sell your house, you can't list it at peak 2016 prices. So I think it's really just sellers adjusting their expectations, adapting to the market. We've had a slew of new policies coming in, and people need to understand what those mean for the market. And then, on the condo side, it's instead of getting maybe 5 offers, you're only seeing 2 or 3. So that obviously starts to reflect in the prices as well.
Okay. All right. So here we are, April 1st, the spring market just about to get rolling. Shawn, what kind of activity are you expecting in the next couple months here?
Well, we started to see an influx of listings that have hit the market. So we've noticed as soon as the snow melted, the weather got a little bit better, and people started to jump into the marketplace. And we were really busy the last couple of weeks, and we've got a lot of clients right now that are personally calling us to say, okay, let's get on the market. When do you suggest? So we think it's going to be a busy spring. We think a lot of people that have been waiting for this market to pick up a little bit are now going to jump the gun and jump into that market and try to push themselves into the market, and those buyers are going to be able to purchase ahead of time. All
right, and Steve, with all this changing world, how do you shape the buyers that you were working with what is kind of now a changing reality here?
I think I'm just, I'm cautioning people that obviously are speculating in the market, that are maybe hoping to hang on to a property for 1 or 2 or even 3 years. Is the reality situation, I think, is people that are buying today have to have a longer time horizon. I think the price growth that we've seen over the last couple of years is clearly not sustainable. And I think it's very much later in that cycle. So I think if you're planning to buy it, it has to be more of a long-term thinking process.
All right. Steve Zaretsky in Vancouver, Shawn Zigelstein in Toronto. To both of you, thanks very much. Have a great evening. Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks.